This is my review of The Promised Neverland, Chapter 162, Musical Chairs. And while I have a whole lot to say about this chapter, first and foremost, Isabella is freaking back, baby! Oh my god, I am so excited for this. I mean, I think a lot of us suspect that she was killed right after, the kids escaped, and the best closure they were going to get was just a message she left with Grandma to tell the kids they ever came back or something along those lines. But no, not only is she back, she got a freaking promotion. She's Grandma Isabella now. At a very young age. I wouldn't really call this woman Grandma, but okay, why not? How this happens, I have no real idea. I mean, it can't be denied, though, that she produced, the best kids, the highest rated kids so smart they actually managed to escape. So I guess, they saw that and were like, all right, well, we can't kill you. We'll kill Grandma instead because she knew about all of your crimes and didn't report to us, so it's her fault. So we're killing her. Now you're Grandma. Huzzah! I mean, that's the best way I can figure out how this would have happened. And now we're left with a question. Is Isabella going to help them or hurt them? I mean, I definitely think in the next chapter it's going to be, Isabella being mean to the kids, cruel to the kids, definitely making it look like she's not on their side whatsoever. But I think down the road there is a chance she might help them. Not 100%. I've seen other people online say, oh, but she saved them last time, so why wouldn't she save them this time? Yeah, well, I mean, last time all she really did was hide their rope so the demons wouldn't find them quite as quickly, giving them a little head start. I mean, that's something, yeah, but at the same time, none of the demons or anyone else, even the kids, know that she did that, so she could do that and then go back to where she belongs, and she wouldn't really receive that much worse of a punishment. I mean, even if the kids were captured, I think she still expected that she would be executed for that, because she let all the kids escape, and so she didn't really have much left to lose, so she just, gave them the hand and then went back to be with Phil and the other kids for as long as she could. And then she somehow managed to survive. But now, if she goes against good old Petey here, it's going to be very obvious, and they're going to blow up the bomb in her heart. So, not great. That being said, I think when she sees how far Emma and Ray and Norman have all come, they've managed to find their way back to her, they managed to take out some demons, she'll change her mind and say, hey, I'm on your side now. Yay! I mean, I've argued in the past that Isabella wasn't actually that evil, because she did want her kids to live the best life they could. I mean, yes, her main focus was on her own survival, making it to the end, but she wanted to do everything in her power to make sure her kids lived happy lives, and she knew if they got outside the walls, if they made it into the outside world, they were not going to live. They were going to die immediately. But once they managed to overcome her, once they managed to beat her, then I think she realized, you know what, they have a chance. They might actually manage to survive out there. They might actually manage to live good, happy lives without me. So go, be free, be happy. But I'm really not sure, so let me just think down below. Isabella, friend or foe? And I really hate myself for saying this, but I'm going to anyway. Has she graduated from a MILF to a GILF? Oh, that was so very, very wrong, and I apologize to everyone who watched this. If you ever see me in the real world, feel free to punch me in the face for saying that. Anyway, then we flash over to Sonja and Musica, and surprise, surprise, he's not actually going to be the next king. I assumed he was going to take someone else's identity and take the role, but instead, he's going for the High Priest. Which, not going to lie, I didn't see it coming, but it makes a lot of sense. I feel like a large part of this series has been about the corruption of the modern world, the modern food industry, modern everything, and going back to an olden time when, the morally upstanding priest was in charge is better. I mean, there's obviously been a whole lot of corruption anytime anyone has power, including priests, especially priests sometimes. But right now, this seems to make a lot of sense. I mean, they were essentially the moral support of the citizens before the last promise. I mean, once that was made, things kind of went to hell. And what's interesting, though, is the fact the priest actually gave his followers permission to eat the farm-raised meat, even though it went against his religion, because he knew if they didn't do it, they would die. Which, really emphasized that he is, in fact, a good guy, willing to defy the will of God to save his people. Though, not without consequences, because even though he allowed this, he had to make up for it. He still believed that the gods' angers had to be quelled, and so he and his 4 sages prayed. And they have continued to pray for 1,000 years, never moving, never eating, just sitting there and praying in a state of suspended animation. I mean, Jesus Christ, that is terrifying. Also, just gotta love the details on their corpsey bodies. I mean, terrifying, but really well drawn. I like that. But yeah, essentially they're in a state of suspended animation, where their metabolism has completely stopped, no more cell division, so they can stay like that without having to eat. But at the same time, I'm gonna assume they're in a lot of pain. And so the basic plan is, alright, we're gonna use our blood to wake them up, and hopefully they'll be in a good enough state where they can take over. I mean, the citizens see, the high priest and the sages walking in town. They're going to be like, oh, the priest have returned! Yay! Okay, he's in command. Let's do whatever he says. The speaker of the god has appeared. Tell us, what is the Lord's advice? What should we do? And I think this is a fairly good time for that to happen. I mean, normally in a situation like this, I'd say, the new generation, they aren't going to listen to these religious old school officials. They're going to rebel against them. It's going to cause riots and chaos and panic. But I don't think anybody actually really likes how the world works right now. I mean, there's essentially a food shortage, and just eating this low-quality meat has really affected them, turning them savage, making them stupider, uglier, more vicious, more violent. And I think they're going to be all on board for the whole, hey, let's follow the old ways and the God we abandoned 1,000 years ago plan. That might work. I am a little concerned they're going to wake up and they're going to have, lost their freaking mind and be, just savages at this point. But we'll see about that. I do think there's a good chance, though. I mean, because Sonja did say they appoint the next king. So it might be the case where they just appoint Sonja to the throne. He can take the throne now that they're backing him up. I kind of doubt the high priest would even want to take the throne. He'd be against it as a man of God or whatever, but hard to say. And then good old PD finds out that Norma, Ray, Emma are in fact still alive, and they murdered the queen. And his response to this is just the height of arrogance. Seriously, after learning that 3 children murdered the most powerful demon in existence, his plan is to capture them. He's not worried or afraid of them. His plan is to capture them and then take the throne for himself. Yes, this human thinks that he can become the king of demons. Because of course he does. I mean, maybe if his plan is just to put a puppet king in command and then secretly control him from the background, that would work. But to me, it sounds like he's planning on taking the throne for himself, and that is not gonna work. Anyway, then we get back to Gracefield, and I'm actually a little surprised about this. The main building, at the other end of the bridge that connects to the outside world, I assumed that whole thing was just, one massive facility. But it looks like it's just one tiny building, not that much bigger or smaller than any of the other orphanages. I mean, we do know that the inside of it, the central part, is where they all connect, roads and paths between them. So what exactly is in there, and what exactly is in the outer building? I'm really curious about that now. Hope we get more of an in-depth explanation on how Gracefield works and all the behind-the-scenes stuff about it. Anyway, yeah, then Granny Isabella shows up, and the kids are absolutely freaking terrified. And for good reason. I mean, like I said, they don't know that she saved them. And even if they did, I don't think they know that she's on their side right now, if she even is. But just let me know all that down below. Can the kids trust Isabella? Is she going to betray them? Is she going to be on their side? Is she going to kill Petey? I'd like to see that. I mean, despite how he's talking to her, I kind of doubt Peter thinks of her as much more than food. Just food that's gone bad, essentially, and serves a purpose elsewhere. But to him, she's still food while he is the grand protector of the promise. What the heck's going to happen next chapter, which is in 2 weeks, by the way. They're off next week. Can they trust Isabella? Will Soju's head priest become the next king, or is he going to end up taking the throne, whether he wants to or not? What's the plan to break into freaking Gracefield? I just love that, actually. I mean, last week everyone was complaining the series was awful. It gone so downhill. They're like, oh, Emma's high hopes and happiness convinced them to go into a death trap. Which I was very much against this chapter. Everyone's like, Isabella's back, yay! It's going to be like it was in the first arc, yay, 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 yay! Which is absolutely freaking hilarious. But yeah, let me think all that and below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video. Until then, peace!